everybody, and welcome back to the RHOBH 34 YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Wheeler, and I am so glad to be back on YouTube. I just want to say that I sincerely apologize to all of my subscribers and supporters for my lack of posting over the last few months. My schedule just really did not give me the time to commit to YouTube, and I refuse to put out like lazy content. But I just want to thank everybody who stayed subscribed and continued to comment and ask me where I've been, when I'm gonna come back, and continue to support me throughout this time. But I just didn't want to tell anybody that I'm coming, I'm gonna post this, because I didn't want to do that until I actually had something recorded. So here we are. And since there has been literally so much that has happened since the last time that we talked, I thought a great way to just kind of catch up was to do a yearly recap of everything that has happened in Bravo in the grand year of 2024. Ideally, this video would have come out before the new year already started, but I've already committed and written and done so much for work on this video. I'm sorry that I procrastinated, but here it is, and I'm determined to give it to you guys anyway. So hopefully you enjoy. We're gonna go month by month just to get a good synopsis of where we started and how we are and where we are. We knew that the 2024 year was gonna be something when it started with literally 4 days into it. We found out about the whole Monica oh my god, there were a lot of surprising firings, casting shakeup, divorces. We really have to talk about them, and at the end of the video I'm gonna do a whole list of everyone who got divorced, everyone who got fired, maybe I'll throw in who got pregnant, and then anyone who got arrested, because there were also a few of those. Anyways, let's put ourselves back where we were almost exactly 1 year ago today. This is January 4th of 2024. I will never forget this moment because frankly I was almost done. I was taking a little break from the Real Housewives. I wasn't done. I didn't watch it for like 2.5 weeks, and I think I might be done. I've heard on TikTok, I heard some rumblings, they were like, you have to watch the Salt Lake, I keep calling it the RHOBH finale, Salt Lake City finale, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. My god, it shot me up out of my seat, like resurrected me. It honestly resurrected a lot of people's interest in Housewives and kind of reinstilled them on another 10-year plan of interest. The cinematography of this whole scene, I mean in general of Salt Lake City, but especially of this scene of the ladies huddled around in the white sand beaches with the dainty floral scarf. This was when they revealed that Monica Garcia was running and administering a troll account on Instagram that was mainly attacking Jen Shah, but it also, the other ladies caught a few strays while she was at it. The whole thing is like the way that this was debuted, I would have thought that she was like on Epstein's list. Seriously. There's been a lot of dramatic situations in Housewives that we've learned about. Like predators, like narcissists, abusives, yada yada. But this girl running a troll account was like, you would have thought it was the worst thing anyone has ever done to any of these women. Maybe to Lisa Barlow, maybe even Meredith, I don't know. That could be true. I think they picked a really easy target for the season. Like obviously Monica put herself in this position. Had it have been, I don't know, Lisa or Angie K running the troll account Instagram, I don't think they would have been like scared for their life, scared for their security. The way that they treated Monica like she was an actual criminal, I thought was really nasty. She did bring it onto herself. You have to acknowledge that they did definitely over exaggerate, overreact to this, especially compared to what the things that Jen Shah has put them through. January 4th, the same episode was actually the first time that we finally learned who gave Heather the black eye. It was Jen Shah, but that kind of got swept under the rug, lost in the sauce of the whole reality Von Tease. We've been knowing this. Anywho, so that was like a whole moment. The whole receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. It gave Bravo a real forefront in like the media. They were like talking about it in the White House. I'm pretty sure they quoted it at like a press conference. I don't even know. And it just got really out of hand really quickly, especially with like the merch. Me even just trying to like Google stuff. I had like trying to get past all the merch for it was just obnoxious. And there's more news about Monica to come throughout the year of 2024. Her January also didn't get any better. The reunion for Salt Lake City aired later on in January. She like could have maybe come back for season 5 if she would have given any other performance than the one that she had given. It was actually pathetic and so frustrating. As someone who kind of wanted her to return slightly, I knew it was impossible. She brought out this giant, oversized, like Regina George burn book thing because like Mean Girls was there. I don't know. It was a complete flop. Nobody cared. It didn't show or prove anything. It did not show her in a good light. It didn't say anything salacious as far as I remember. Like I don't even remember what was in it because it was complete and utter flop. And it was embarrassing to watch. Overall, she just really did nothing to redeem herself with the group. And I don't know if she understood that going into a reunion, if she wants to secure a seat for the next season, you have to leave with at least like one ally. You can't be on a show about friends and not leave the season with any friends. Like, it just won't make sense. Okay, moving on. Traitors season 2 aired in January 2024. Now that means I just saw the 7-minute preview or whatever that Peacock released for the next season. There wasn't enough Bravo people for my liking, but season 2 was a very Bravo heavy, Bravo centric season. So I mean, it was fucking awesome. We had Phaedra Parks. Kate Chastain from Below Deck came on later and joined Phaedra as a traitor. Tamra Judge, however, she was early on dismissed because she sucked. And then MJ wasn't bad. Oh, and Larsa also wasn't bad. And Larsa's boyfriend, I don't even remember his name, Michael Jordan Jr. or whatever, he got kicked off like right away. And then there was also Peppermint from RuPaul's Drag Race, and that white bitch Trishelle, who was like completely transphobic towards her, voted her off because she was like, I don't like your outfit. It was something stupid, and Trishelle's outfits were terrible. But anyways, Traitors season 2, I don't know why I felt the need to include that. It was a big moment, I think, for Phaedra, because after that, Phaedra was invited on to Dancing with the Stars, on Married to Medicine, then she was on Traitor, Dancing with the Stars, and now she's coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I think that was kind of an important step, being on Traitor, to reintroduce her to the NBC universe and be back in everybody's good graces. We also had the Southern Charm reunion last January. It was a really, 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 really good reunion. And my favorite part was how Shep finally admitted that he's an alcoholic, and he was confronted by Craig and Austin. I feel like they've done this before, but he finally admitted how drunk he was at the last Bravo con. You could tell by the size of his freaking cheeks. I'm sorry. Moving on to February 2024. Now, February 2024 is when the Valley finally premiered. This is the Vanderpump Rules kind of spin-off, I guess you could say, which is like the golden age Vanderpump Rules. And despite a lot of initial like skepticism, the show is actually delivered pretty well. Unanimously, people agreed that it was significantly better than the last season of Vanderpump Rules. I thought this show was going to be terrible and desperate and sad, which it is terrible, desperate, and sad, but that's what honestly makes it good. There's something so different about being like pushing 40, still having that Hollywood, LA desperation in you. I really liked the first season, and I'm looking forward to the next season. They didn't give them a reunion, which I thought was really annoying, and I hope that they do the next season because we don't know how the next Vanderpump Rules thing is gonna work out. And honestly, this was kind of the first time in years, in my opinion, that Bravo has gotten casting across the board. I thought everybody on the cast was really brought something to the table in one way or another. And it really was like watching a train wreck in real time, because when the show had initially filmed and stuff, everybody was still dating. There was like all these different couples, everyone was coupled off. And now I believe everybody has broken up except for Kristen Doty. Kristen Doty on top. Also in February, this honestly makes me realize how long ago February was. I remember making a TikTok about Portia announcing her divorce from Simon after only 15 months of marriage. This is a very, very, very messy divorce. I cannot give you all of the details. If you want the full breakdown, I have like a 4-minute video on it on my TikTok, RHOBH34. Basically, he has been in trouble from the jump because whenever he came to Nigeria back in the 80s, he was given a temporary visa card, and this card expired. Ever since then, he had just been allegedly using fake IDs to gain residence here in the United States. I'll also link that video in the comments so you can find it, because actually I need to put all of my TikToks here on YouTube, because like we don't know how much longer we'll have TikTok here in America. It's actually, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Stay tuned for that. Anyways, Portia, they've had a lot of like legal battles throughout their divorce, and he had tried to say that their prenup was invalidated because she wanted to return to reality TV. But the court ruled that that was not gonna happen. God, Portia got her prenup. I thought that their relationship was just incredibly messy from the jump. I never really trusted him, because if you remember, Simon was still legally married to a friend of her housewife, Alan. She was filming and everything, and that's when he started dating Portia. Now they were kind of separated, but it's very ambiguous, very much a he said, she said as to whether or not he cheated on Fallon with Portia. But my God, I mean, what a mess. What a mess. Also, they got engaged less than 1 month after they started dating, which is just like a huge red flag on its own. Also, around this time was whenever they announced that they were going to be doing a recast of Real Housewives of Atlanta. They didn't do all of the recasts in one fell swoop. They just announced at this moment that Candy and Marlo would not be returning for the next season. Thank God though, because I mean, Candy, like, come on now. I can't believe that she hung on there for as long as she fucking did. I've never really liked her. Nothing against her. She's probably a fine person. She's really smart, but like, not interesting. Her storylines are just making money. I don't think that she's actually naturally friends with any of these people. It's just, and Marlo, she just kind of caught a stray there. We don't need Marlo. We're good. We got Portia. We got more on the way. Going into March of 2024, this is officially 1 year since Scandal, which is also incredibly wild. It makes you think more about the passage of time. Anywho, that was on March 1st. That happened on my birthday. On the 21st of March 2024, that fateful night that Karen Huger, knowingly or not, seemingly unconsciously, stepped behind a wheel and crashed her Maserati at around midnight in Potomac, Maryland. She managed to swerve across 2 to 4 lanes of traffic over a median and hit signs and trees on another side of the road. So luckily and shockingly, nobody was hurt. I can't believe nobody was hurt, but she better be fucking thankful. There's a shocking amount of footage that has been released to the public of this night. The footage itself wasn't released until like actually recently, back in December. It shows actually how drunk that she is, and it shows her refusing to take a breathalyzer or a field sobriety test. So she was arrested that night and released shortly after. But that night, I mean, literally her wig all the way back here. She's slurring a mesh. It's like Luann's "I will fucking kill you" type of vibe. Not as aggressive, but more like, do you know who I am? I'm going down. But that wig in itself, if I would have seen that video and seen my hair like that, I would have said no. I'll take the plea deal. I'm not taking this to trial. I'm not letting this footage go public. The irony of it all is, even though we all have literal footage of her being so goddamn drunk, she still is pleading not guilty. She said she's not drunk. She was just very emotionally distressed and did not know how emotional distress would have impaired her ability to drive. I just don't believe it. I mean, I'm sorry. The fact that she doesn't take any accountability is just absolutely wild. And her reasoning about all of this is just she's saying that her mom died in 2017. And I know grief comes and goes in stages, predictable, but it just seems like kind of a convenient thing to pull. Not even that convenient. Like, actually, was there not anything more recent you could have pulled from? It's very odd. Yeah, her choosing to plead not guilty is the reason why those videos are being released to the public. They have to be considered in the court. She's facing 2 years of jail time because this is her second DUI offense. So it's very scary. Again, I just cannot believe that she's pleading not guilty to this. The day after the DUI, what happened, you may ask? Anne-Marie was fired from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which frankly, I don't know if I needed an announcement for that. That was just written on the wall. She could have just handed in her 2 weeks on the way out from the last reunion. On to better things. April of 2024, Todd and Alexia from the Real Housewives of Miami announced that they were getting divorced. Kind of embarrassing for both of them because of how this has been speculated for quite some time. He was only on for like 1 episode, and didn't he like kick her out of his condo or something? He had just a weird vibe in general, just like kind of off, maybe narcissistically off. I don't know what it was. The day after their divorce, Crystal announced that she was gonna be leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Again, snooze, don't care. This was also around the time when Hilaria Baldwin was like allegedly in talks of potentially joining the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I was like the #1 supporter of that idea. I'm kind of disappointed that that didn't go anywhere, but I do think the reason why is because I've heard that the Baldwins and little Baldwinos are potentially having their own reality show coming out soon, so maybe that's why she didn't decide to be a housewife. In May, this was when Danielle Carbonara's hairstylist called her out for not paying for like a bunch of glam and just thinking that she's like an A-list celebrity when she's absolutely not. And even Real Housewives fans, a lot of them do not know who Danielle Carbonara is. She needs to fucking check herself. Just looking at the post of the hairdresser calling out Danielle, and Jennifer Aiden liked it. Fucking course, messy bitch. It doesn't help that Jennifer liked that tweet, because literally like 2 days before the whole Danielle thing came out, Jennifer's hands are not clean. It was revealed on Twitter. You're on Housewives Twitter in May of 2024. You know what was going on. Specifically Real Housewives of New Jersey Twitter. Or you were like super confused. Like, it was really hard to follow. There was this woman named Melissa Oldnose, or whatever the hell her username was. She was a little odd. She was like working in tangent with Jennifer Aiden. She had like one of those stan accounts where they would just like tweet excessively. Those are a real barometer of culture and also can lead a lot of narratives, I've noticed. Jennifer was like reaching out to this Twitter person and saying, you need to tweet this about Danielle, and giving her like stories. She had given her this story about the glam, so that's kind of how this had initiated. It all comes down to Melissa Oldnose on Twitter, and that's part of the reason why the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion was canceled, in my opinion. Like, I knew that Housewives would reach out to like page 6, but why would they reach out to someone with a few thousand followers on Twitter? Like, it's just crazy. It's a really weird use of time, but we all know Jennifer has nothing but time and money to waste, so I guess it's not that surprising. May 8th, we find out that Ryan Boyajaran, Jennifer Pedantry from Housewives of Orange County, that is her fiance. This is the day that we found out he is tied up in this major MLB wire fraud scam with this player, Ohtani. Again, I did a TikTok about this, of course, but the major synopsis is that he was basically a bookie with his friend. I'm blanking on the friend's name. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. His friend was on the show, actually. Him and his friends are like bookies, allegedly. Ohtani's translator was stealing money from him and giving it to allegedly Ryan and his friend to like gamble it and make more. And they're still facing trial, I believe. I think Ryan's friend is mostly the one that's gonna take the fall for this, but it's a major thing. It's like national news. May 22nd, 2024, the Something About Her sandwich shop finally opened. I don't even know how long at this point. I mean, I'm never gonna go there. I feel like by the time I make it to LA, it will definitely be closed. But good for them. Okay, now we're moving on to June. June 1st is when they announced suddenly that there was gonna be no reunion for the season 14 of Real Housewives of New Jersey. Honestly, in my opinion, Jersey is like queen of reunion. This is really freaking disappointing. They're great for ratings. I don't know what would have been resolved necessarily at this reunion, so I understand their reasoning. Well, the reasoning was that nobody is at a point when they will be able to reconcile or have a healthy conversation sitting in one room together. But their solution, what they gave us, that was like a really pathetic replacement. So instead of a reunion, we got all of the women like sitting down in two separate groups, one at a time, talking in a restaurant about a dinner that they had at that restaurant like 3 days ago. And they're talking with the people that they get along with. So like was not interesting, just repeating the same shit. I also think I need to note that Dina Manzo's ex-husband, Tommy Manzo, was sentenced to 46 years in prison in June. I don't know the exact date. He was sentenced for he was sentenced for having a hit on Dina's current fiance or current husband. Caroline, Dina's own sister, wrote a character defense statement for Tommy Manzo. Yeah, and that was like completely swept under the rug. I feel like that needs to be addressed at some point in this video. Like 46 years is a freaking long time. Moving on to July of 2024. July 5th, Dorinda leaked Lindsay Hubbard's pregnancy announcement to the Traitors producers. I mean, I thought it was funny. I mean, it's not funny, but Lindsay was not able to be on Traitors because she was pregnant. On July 9th, early July, is also when we learned that Kenya will not be coming back to The Housewives of Atlanta. Kind of stopped filming abruptly because of this whole situation going on with this new housewife named Brittany Edie. Kenya's had this whole Kenya Moore hairline. She was gonna have a party for it, as they always are having product parties, especially in Atlanta. It's said that she used posters as decorations, and the posters showed like the new girl Brittany giving like to a man. She used that as decoration at a party. I don't know what brought her to do this. Brittany was saying it was like a hazing thing. What would even bring that to somebody's mind? It's a crazy idea. And then to go forth with it and execute it, have them print it out, like I just don't even want to know. So she was fired from the Housewives of Atlanta. July 12th, Olivia Flowers was fired from Southern Charm. This was really dirty in my opinion. They did her bad. Her life was completely fucked over by the show. Being cheated on and her brother dying. Is that what the order was? I actually found her to be like really captivating. Definitely more captivating than Taylor. Sorry. July 31st, Jax Taylor entered into a mental health facility for seemingly kind of indiscreet reasons, but one can assume that he needed this. It was about time. Moving on to August, Jax returns from his mental health facility, and this time he is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder. I feel like I could have told him that, but it's fine. I'm frankly just glad that he's getting some treatment. Like, that's all I was thinking during this time. Oh my god, finally. Here he goes, taking accountability, doing something about his well-being and the behavior that we fucking see all the damn time. Nope. Literally, as soon as he returns from the mental health facility, Brittany said, "Rotten hell, filed for divorce after 5 years of marriage on August 27th of 2024. So much drama here. And apparently Jax is also representing himself in court, which sounds familiar. Hello, Tom Sandoval is also doing that too. But he's like made a lot of mistakes in his paperwork, so it's like delayed all these processes. I'm sure it's cost him so much money too, and would have been easier and cheaper to just get a lawyer. It should be known that Jax gave Brittany, thank God, he gave Brittany full custody of their 3-year-old Cruz, because he knows better than to make himself the full sole provider of this toddler. He is not capable of doing that. I'm glad that that's not the situation at hand here, because that would be terrible. She is now apparently dating Jax's old friend Julian, who looks pretty hot. I'm sure Jax is like absolutely peeved that they're dating. She moved on really quickly, and I'm really happy for Brittany. And I thought she looked actually really, sorry to say this, but she looked really scary on the last season of The Valley. Her filler was just absolutely migrated all over the goddamn continent. I saw photos of her recently, day, and it looked like she had gotten some of it dissolved. The work that she's done just looks better quality overall. I don't know if she took out the cheap stuff and put in better stuff. I don't know what's happening. She looks like Britney. There was a lot that happened in August. This is kind of like swept under the rug just because this has been going on for so long. Tom Girardi was found guilty for embezzling $15 million from his law firm clients. It actually took the jury literally less than one day of deliberating to come to this decision. And I think part of the reason why it was delayed was because of his mental status. They were saying that he had dementia or Alzheimer's. The court said, you know, we don't care. They evaluated him and they were like, nope, he's good. And they sent him to trial, which seeing like some of the footage that I've seen of him, I don't know if they're just playing it up. I could not believe that he was deemed fit for trial. Didn't go his way regardless. I don't think it would have mattered, frankly. I don't know if those victims will ever get their money back. Like, it's very unlikely, but at least some justice is served. I felt the need to include this. Vicky Gunvalson also nearly died of sepsis in August. Like, I don't know how that happened. I do know how it happened. She was on vacation and like got an infection. Glad she was fine. That was really scary. Shannon Bedore was also spotted behind the wheel for the first time since her DUI, almost nearly a year after. And then we had to end the month with fucking John Jansen and Alexis Bellino getting engaged on August 29th after 9 months of dating. And they suck. They both know they suck. I actually didn't even want to include them on here at all because they don't interest me, frankly. Without Shannon, I'm not buying what they're selling. And August also ended with Lenny from Housewives of Miami getting dumped by his mistress fiance, Katarina. Good for her. The only real news that I could find or really remember from September was Nicole announcing that she's gonna leave from Housewives of Miami. I was really sad about this because I did not see this coming. Like, I feel like she was on top after last season. But if you guys remember anything else that happened in September, let me know. Comment below. Okay, moving on into October. On October 15th, Tamra Judge announced that she has recently discovered she is now on the autism spectrum. After a singular 30-minute whatever therapy appointment, like her first ever therapy appointment, she claims that she was diagnosed with autism. Crazy to say out loud. She like revealed this to Teddy in all sincerity on their Two Peas in a Pit podcast. I think she really thought that that was gonna go over well. Thought that it was gonna reframe autism. I don't know what she thought she was doing, but none of it happened. The only thing it did was she just got clowned. She just got completely clowned because it takes several years and tests and diagnoses to determine if somebody is on the spectrum. There's manuals about it, but I doubt she knows anything about the DSM-5. It was clown sitting up in here. And it didn't help also that she was like doing all this facial treatment stuff, showing the whole thing on TikTok, and it was nasty. Her skin, she looked like Shrek. She felt the need every morning to like document her Shrek self. She was like crying with her pussy face. It was a wild like 2.5 weeks for Tamra. Raquel, whatever. She also announced October 18th that she was ending her Rachel Goes Rogue podcast. Thank God. I think I listened to like the first 3 episodes and I was like, actually my time is so much more valuable than that. Like, I have to draw the line somewhere. And I'm glad because I think she just needs to cut ties. She has like this new engineering boyfriend who just seems like a normie, and I think that she just needs to live like a normie life for the next 5 to 10 years, possibly forever. Now we are on November 2nd, Teddy and Edwin announced that they were getting divorced. Now there's some real tea here because apparently Teddy was having an affair with her horse trainer. That is literally like the chicest thing Teddy has ever done. A classically and categorically unchic person. However, everyone was hot, but like, a horse trainer. It's very Bella Hadid. I wouldn't be surprised if like Teddy's on Dancing with the Stars or something stupid next season. On November 2nd, Bravo announced that the Housewives of Dubai was going to be canceled forever after 2 seasons. And honestly, I watched the first season, and I did hear really good things about the people who did watch the second season, but there were very few people who did watch the second season. I did not watch it, and mainly because I felt like there was such a delay in between season 1 and season 2. I had a really hard time remembering who they were, what their deals were. On November 19th, Shannon Bedore and John Jansen finally settled their lawsuit. She paid him $75,000. I believe she paid him out on the day of the reunion. I hate that she had to pay him all that money, but you know what? Now she does not owe him a thing and doesn't have to interact with him anymore. She's paying for their fucking wedding, which is so annoying. The biggest news of the year, in my opinion, was announced on November 26th. Take a deep breath. Bravo announced that they are doing a complete reboot, complete recast for season 12 of Vanderpump Rules. And they're still going to call it Vanderpump Rules, and they're going to carry it on for season 12. Firing everybody. Everyone. I was crying. I was so sad. I actually could not believe that happened. Everybody on the cast, they were told about this before it was announced publicly, but most people have kind of shared that they were pretty much like blindsided by this. I don't know how, because like, did they watch the last season? I don't know. Last episode of the last season, in very many ways, felt like the finale of Vanderpump Rules. I kind of saw this coming, but I didn't. Like, I didn't think this would ever happen. I don't know why I was so in denial. I never thought that they would pull the plug when they kept Candy around for so goddamn long. And I'm really nervous. I'm really, 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 really nervous for the next season and what they're going to do with Vanderpump Rules. On that exact same day, Chris and Doty was like, you know what? That's okay, guys, because I'm pregnant. She is birthing the next generation of Sir. I'm kidding. She is pregnant with a baby girl. Boyfriend, fiance, I don't remember his name, Zach or something. He is the father of the child. She seems really happy. Like, I'm so happy for her because that was her whole storyline in the last season. Oh, on November 25th, Schwartz and Sandy's announced that it's going to be closing after 2 years. So, oh my god. And then also, I don't know exactly when this happened in November. November was a really, really busy month. Paige, DeSorbo, and Craig broke up. I can't believe it. Like, I think I'm just still in denial. Moving on to the final month of December of 2024. The main news of this month was that James Kennedy was arrested for domestic violence. They didn't release like a ton of details about this situation. I believe it was the night of what? Oh, it was that like weird fake Kathy Hilton Christmas party. Not like the Kathy Hilton Christmas party, but like the fake one that she invites Bravo celebrities for, and it was like sponsored by Xfinity or something like that. James Kennedy and Allie were there, and then they left that party, and that night, I guess they had gotten into some sort of an altercation. The police were called, and he was arrested, and then he had to pay bail. It was sad because Allie like immediately took to Instagram and was like, guys, you don't know the full story, defending James, and I hate that, and I really hope that she gets out. I can imagine after his being fired that he is just completely bottoming out, crashing out. She does not need to go down with him. I hope that she's okay. And then the other big news of this last month was Karen Huger's DUI trial, which began on December 17th. This was when the body cam footage was released and set afoot on Twitter. It took a life of its own. We already talked about it earlier in the video. Basically, her defense said that, as I mentioned, she was emotionally distressed. They tried to use the excuse that they did an illegal search and seizure on her car, which I believe that. They probably did. But she was still found guilty of a DUI, negligent driving, failure to stop at a stop sign, failure to avoid speed at a collision, failure to notify authorities of an address change. I feel like they just threw that one in there to be petty. So she's facing 2 years. She's going to be sentenced on January 29th of 2025. Right now, her plan is to appeal and I guess plead not guilty again. I don't know. She's shown like very little remorse as far as what I've seen. Very much explanatory and defensive. She's very, very lucky that nobody got hurt. Again, I don't know how she can see the footage of her acting so belligerent. Not belligerent, but just drunk, and knowing she can defend that and trying to justify. So we'll see how that appeal process goes this month. That was everything that happened in the Bravo world in 2024. I want to do a run through everyone who got fired, divorced, yada yada yada. So everyone who got fired, you have NECA from Potomac, Anne-Marie, Crystal, all of Vanderpump Rules, Monica, Dr. Nicole, Candy, Marlo, Robin, Candace, Kenya. There's probably more. Olivia Flowers. And then here are the people who got divorced. We have Dorit and PK. Wait, where did I put that on? Todd and Alexia, Teddy and Edwin, Jackson, Brittany, and then Portia and Simon. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure you subscribe for more Bravo and other reality related content. My goal for 2025 is to post at least once a month here on YouTube. And I really love doing this, so that's why I hated that I didn't post for so long, because I know that this is something I love. You guys, I get a lot of positive feedback from y'all, and I want to keep doing this, so please don't be afraid. I'm never leaving forever. Sometimes it just takes me a second to get my ducks in a row before I can start quacking. Stay tuned, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.